Hey guys, welcome to this demo of the Tiny Game Engine. Essentially what the Tiny Game Engine is a framework for you to build command line games using Ruby. I built this framework because I was trying to create a game for myself and I just wanted an easy menu system. Instead of just building a game, I ended up building an entire framework. And since then, I've built 2 games with it. Let me just show you quickly the capabilities of it. Let's see, am I in the way here? Let me move myself out of the way. Okay, so this game I created is called Startup Simulator. Essentially what it is you build a startup, you hire employees, you build products. It's like a lemonade stand. You can get this on my GitHub. It's actually really fun. So let's get started. You can see the capabilities of the menus and also what this game is all about. So I will do ruby run.rb. Okay. So it's going to walk you through the setup here. What is your name? My name is Andrew. Congratulations, Andrew, on becoming an entrepreneur. I have a little startup name generator built in here. Generate a new name. Purple Firm Inc. Let's do another one. Table Firm. Nah. Quantum Capital. No. Humongous Book. Humongous Book. All right, I like that. All right, we're Humongous Book. Okay, time to raise some capital and get this thing started. It's going to give you little tips here. Essentially, built into the Tiny Game Engine is some commands that you can type in. You can type in help to get the help menu. You can quit to quit the entire game. You can, if you're in the menus and you need to go back one menu, you can type back, and that's all built in. All right, so this is what the menu looks like down here. So it shows off my company name, how much money I have, how many employees I have, how many products I have. There's a bunch of different options in here. Probably start off by raising capital. So you type 1 and then press enter. In this menu, you can see that there's a few items that are unlocked. So you can set your logic in the game. In this particular game, you have a stat called recognition. When your recognition gets over a certain point, you can unlock those new people to raise money from. So it starts with friends and family, and then it works its way up to bigger and bigger people based on how recognized your company is. So I'm going to choose to raise money from friends and family. My friend Gary believes in me. He gives me 2 G's. Cool. Uncle Steve thinks my idea will never work. He tells me to get lost. Oh, great. And cousin Darius coming in clutch with the 6 G's. All right, cool. So the way the game works, or the way the Tiny Game Engine kind of works too, is it goes by turns. In this particular game, it goes by weeks. So I mean, turns and weeks are kind of the same thing. Like every week that goes by is a turn. You do one thing per week, and that's how the game progresses. After every week, it will give you a breakdown of what happened throughout the week. So this is recapping your week. So let's see. You sold off 5% of your company. You raised $8,000, and obviously we don't have any employees. We don't have any products, so we haven't gotten any money or spent any money either. All right, so we have $8,000. The game continues from here, but essentially what you're going to do is you're going to hire employees, build products with these number 2 and number 3, and then you can see those products and employees in 5 and 6, and then you can view your company. I'm just going to view my company now, see what this looks like. It says humongous book. My team morale is very severe because I don't have any employees, I don't have any recognition, and I don't have anything. Very, very severe. But essentially, as you continue, obviously those things are going to go up. So there's a lot of logic built into the actual game itself, and then there's logic built into the menus. But I'm going to show you how you can build a menu system like this, and then I'm going to show you how you can incorporate game events and game triggers to change your game state, essentially. All right. So first thing you're going to want to do is you're probably going to go to my GitHub here and check out this repository, Tiny Game Engine. You can fork or clone it. I just created this brand new one, so I got no stars, but you can throw a star in there if you like it. And then you're going to clone it. I already cloned it for us so that we can build our menus here. So let me show you what the run file looks like. Or let me just show you the files in general. So you're gonna have a file in the app folder called run.rb. This is essentially where your main game loop is gonna happen. Your menus are gonna be initialized. Your game triggers are gonna be initialized. It's gonna start the game clock. The game event.game clock starts at 1. And then this is where the magic is happening. I'll show you exactly what we have to put in here to get our game running. But let me go down the line here. Bin, there shouldn't be an RB file in that. I'll get rid of that actually. That won't be in your cloning because I'm gonna push this up after this. We got an environment file which just hooks up everything. This is where you're gonna build your menus. And then this is where you're going to build your game states. So let me take a look at this. I cleared it out so that you can build all your menus here. And then we're going to refresh our menus on every turn. Okay, and then this is the heart of Tiny Game Engine here. It has our classes. Our UI class is our main menu class. And then I have a couple sub-menu classes that inherit from UI. And then this is where you can build your help menu. So that when you saw in the startup simulator, when you type help, your help menu will pop up. This is where you're gonna write your help for that. And then we got our game triggers and game events. I'll kind of go over what those are. Essentially, those change the state of your game, and the game events, those things that were recapped on every turn. Those were game events essentially that are automatically being recapped. When it hits this game event dot turn summary line of code here. Okay. So first, let's decide what we want our game to be. What I'm thinking is we'll do like a Pokemon type game, like a monster battler, where you collect monsters and you can fight against other trainers. Before we build the classes that we need for for the game itself, we can start building our menus out here. So navigate to the lib folder here and head to menu builder. Okay. So to build a menu, we're going to create a variable. I'm going to call this main menu underscore UI. I like to put the underscore UI at the end just to remind myself what this thing is. And then to initialize the menu, you're going to do UI capitals dot new. And then you're going to give it a name. I would suggest giving it the same name as the variable here, just to keep things nice. Now, let me move my face out of the way so that we can see what the heck I'm doing. Okay. Now, so what we're doing is we're initializing a main menu, but we need to make it look nice. So there's a few properties that you're going to want to set right off the bat. And those properties are, well, we'll start with the header and then I'll add in the menu items. So main menu dot header equals, and it's going to take a string. So we'll do, let's just call this TinyMon. This way we don't get sued. Then we're going to add body, and the body, usually I like to recap the turn number. So I'll put turn number, and then to reference the turn at any time, you can do game event dot game clock. On top of that, we want to give our menu borders. So we say has border equals true. And then we're going to set our border type. All this is in the README as well, giving you your options so that you can customize your menus in any way you want. And we want to give it that divider that we saw. The border is just going to be the top and bottom. If we give it the divider, it's going to stick a divider in between the header and the body. So we'll do has divider equals true, and that's gonna it's gonna use the dashes, dash large. If you want to see under the hood, you can look at the design module, and these are the different borders. But you're not going to call line underscore short. There's actually a special syntax for that I created that is in the README. Okay, back to menu builder. Okay, it has a divider. And then what we want to do is, so in that game startup simulator, you saw that you can type back to go to the previous menu. In the main menu, you're going to want to say that the previous menu is actually the main menu, because if somebody types back, you don't want the game to break. You just want it to reprompt this menu. So instead, we're going to do parent menu equals, and then this menu. Okie dokie. All right, so now when we start our game, we should see this menu, but let's give us some options too. I have to put my options right here, so we'll do menu items. And then this is going to be an array of strings. So you'll say for option number 1, you're going to say this is going to be your battle. Send you guys into battle. Option number 2, also a string, is going to be, let's do view TinyMon. View your TinyMon. And then I want to see enemy trainers. And then I want to see my stats. We'll stick to 4. I want to keep it simple right now. You can get as crazy as you want. Okay. Save that. Now, in my run file, I'm already initializing the menus here. So when we hit our game, we need to call the start menu class function on UI here. So you're going to do start menu, and then you're going to type the name of your menu, which I already have here. It's just a good kind of main menu, you guys, a good first menu always, just to keep it simple. All right, so when I run my game, let's see if we have any errors here. So I'm going to do Ruby app Okay, so if I run this menu here, we should see our menu. But make sure this wasn't closed. I just fixed this. Make sure you close this array here. Okay, so let's do run. So Ruby app/run RB. So it's going to run our run file here, and let's see what comes up. Okay, cool. So we have a little bit of a menu here. TinyMon. It's going to tell us our turn number. You can choose to battle, view your TinyMon, view enemy trainers, or view stats. Notice there is the spacing's a little off here. All you have to do is adjust your spacing in this first one here. It doesn't have, I haven't built it to kind of take care of all of your spacing for it. So you need to use your brain a little bit. If you do it that way, a couple more spaces. Notice I'm typing quit to get out of the game. Okay, looks good. I want my TinyMon to be more in the middle here. Let's see what that looks like. Sweet. Back it up a little bit. Okay, cool. So let's create another menu so that when we press 1, we go to a second menu. So let's call this menu battle menu _ UI. And you just follow the same thing we just did. So battle menu UI. If you want to get crazy, and you probably should, copy and paste this bad boy down here. Control D to select all these guys. D, Control D, Control D, Control D. Battle menu. And then our two options are going to be find an opponent and let's make it so that we can select our main TinyMon, and that's going to be the one that will battle. Save. Can keep these the same. Just for fun, let's make this menu a squiggles menu. And then the parent menu, if you press back, we want it to go back to main menu UI. So that's perfect. Now, if I run this, what will happen? The game will come up here. If I try to press 1, we get an error. That's because we haven't set up our game logic yet. You always build your game logic after you build all your menus. So if you see here, it tells you where to do it. And how you do that is you say main menu dot set _ logic in parentheses. You're going to store the method that you want to be run. In this case, there's a method called, on every single menu, there's a method called prompt. And prompt will prompt your menu. And I just realized that my face has been in the way the whole darn time. I'm going to have to make sure that it wasn't that in the way. Okay. So you're going to want to set up your, like I said, you set your logic here. You're going to want to call prompt on this battle menu every time 1 is selected. So in this first parameter, we're going to type battle menu UI dot method, and then prompt here, because we're storing this in our logic. Logic under the hood is an array, but you don't have to worry about that. But essentially what happens, if you really want to know, is this prompt method is being stored, it's not being called. When it hits the prompt, it's going to check, oh, is this a method? Then I want to do dot call on that method. So that's what's going to happen. So if I set this logic like this, if I choose 1, I should be able to go to the battle menu now. So let's try it out. Move me. Move. Be small. Okay. Okay. Now if we press 1, will we go to the battle menu? Let's check. Yeah, we're in the battle menu. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change this to say, just so we know, battle menu. And this one to say main menu. When we press 1, game's gonna break because we haven't set the logic for find an opponent yet. But let's back up to our main menu and see what other menu options we can set. Okay, clear. Okay, battle, view your TinyMon. Let's do view your TinyMon. Literally just copy this. I mean, it's all set up for you, right? Let's change this to view TinyMon UI. And then I'm going to select the next ones here. View TinyMon UI. Save. Menu items. For now, let's keep them blank and we'll decide what we want to do with this menu later. What I'm thinking is that we're probably going to write something that will cycle through all of our TinyMon and puts them out so that we can see them. And we'll write that in the TinyMon class. But right now, let's see if this thing works, and let's make our second option here. View TinyMon.method prompt. So now we should see, and let's change this to view TinyMon. So now, if we start our game over, we should get that second option. We'll press 2, view your TinyMon. We are in the view TinyMon menu. We don't see any TinyMon because we haven't coded that yet, but at least we have our menu. And we've got squiggles large, which are larger than the dash large. So let me check. Let me change squiggles to squiggles medium. Good. See, we got squiggles, and they're medium now. That's what we want. Okay, cool. So I just showed you how to create menus and rig them up using the set logic method here. You can do this with more menus, but right now I'm going to leave it at that, and we'll move on to the next section. In the next section, we're going to make sure that on every turn, our turn number is actually increasing, and also anything else that we want to refresh. I'll show you how to do that in the, if you can see under my big head, the refresh menus menu here. So we'll learn how to do that, and then I'm going to build some classes for our player and for a TinyMon, and then we'll start making this game do something. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe. Please star my repo. And thank you very much.